Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and to all of our witnesses. There are no words that can fully express how grateful we are to you for being here today to discuss this very important issue. Here we are again, talking about gun violence in America. As members of Congress, our primary responsibility is the safety of the American people. When we think about our own children, our own grandchildren, wouldn't we do anything at all to protect them? Well, our responsibility goes a little further here because we have taken an oath to protect America's children. As I hear the discussion, I am just, certainly as a former law enforcement officer, I'm just disappointed that we are not fulfilling our oath or our promise to protect America's children. I do have to recognize the presence of Noble's Executive Director, Dwayne Crawford. It's great to see you, and Noble member, Chief Holt. I've heard a lot of stuff. I've heard that we just want to take guns out of the hands of law-abiding citizens. That's nonsense. I carried one for 27 years. My father was a hunter. I grew up with guns. This is about keeping guns out of the hands of dangerous people, people who walk into a classroom, Faith, and gun down innocent children like your sister. To her parents, it's about keeping guns out of the hands of dangerous people. And if we aren't working to do that, as we sit here and talk about a lot of different things, if we aren't working to do that, we are not doing our job. There's been a lot of talk about law enforcement, as there should be. I watched the failed response, and we need to get to the bottom of it. But we do know that things went wrong long before the shooter, the 18-year-old, walked into Robb Elementary that day. Like legislators who had the power to pass laws proactively to protect children failed to do that. Seatbelt laws don't save everybody, do they? But doggone it, they have made a difference. We have a responsibility to do better than just throw ridiculous rhetoric across the aisle every day. We have this moment with people who were there. There's been a lot of talk about assault weapons and military-style weapons. Doctor, you gave a very vivid testimony about the victims and what the weapon did to the victims. I know you're not making that up. I served as a law enforcement officer. The chance of survival, I've had coworkers shot with the same weapons. The chance of survival is about zero. And so there seems to be, I hear defending the weapons. What about the children? Doctor, please again, could you talk about what you experienced on the scene that day so the American people, those who really want to listen and do something about it, can fully understand the devastation caused by the weapon that was used?
As I've mentioned before, devastating injuries to the point of shredding, decapitation, holes in chests. And I'll actually even tell you, since Uvalde is a small community, things travel quickly through our community, and medical people or other people that were there that happened to see what they saw when they walked in, I can explain to you what they've mentioned to me as well. Kids with part of their faces missing, limbs torn apart. There's a little girl alive today still who survived, who is missing part of her extremities. Just devastating injuries that no one could possibly survive.
Faith, and to Tessa's parents, God bless you and thank you so much for your advocacy, not just on behalf of your daughter, but for other children. Chief Holt, if you could just talk a little bit about Noble's position as we talk about gun violence and how we can reduce it in the most powerful nation in the world.
Again, our position is not to eliminate a section of the Constitution. We are all for accountable, responsible gun ownership. But what we're not responsible for are those who are unresponsible, who skim the way that you purchase weapons and the use of how they use those weapons. We would like to see this great divide come across and we unite really the only goal is safety and to save the kids who are victims of this sort of incidents.
Again, thank you all so very much. God bless you. And Madam Chair, I yield back.
I thank the gentlelady, and I'd like to yield at this time to the gentleman from